Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be breaking down the book Catwoman Lonely City. This is easily one of the most fun books I've read from DC this year. Now the creative team on this book is just one person, Cliff Chiang. He wrote it, he drew it, he colored it, and he did the letters on it. So that's kind of cool. One person is responsible for this whole book. Another series I've covered here on my channel is Paper Girls, and Cliff Chiang was the artist on that series. So if you want to see more of his work, check out my series of videos on that. Now, the concept of Catwoman Lonely City is a very interesting one. It is set in a future DC universe. Batman, Joker, Nightwing, and James Gordon are dead in this continuity. Catwoman, she was sent to jail and she was in prison for 10 years, and she is finally released. But now she is a 55-year-old woman. She is older, a little bit over the hill. And how will this older Catwoman adjust to this new Gotham City? So very interesting stuff there. There is so much fun to be had in this book. There's so much heists and fun, unique characters. So this is a really good time. Let's dive into it. Catwoman Lonely City. Catwoman Lonely City. Written, drawn, colored, and lettered by Cliff Chiang. Issue 1. Dirty Old Town. 10 years ago, a massacre known as Fool's Night claimed the lives of Batman, the Joker, Nightwing, and James Gordon, and it sent Selina Kyle, the Catwoman, to prison. We'll learn more about this Fool's Night throughout the story. But those are some major character deaths. And what would Gotham City look like after this? What would it look like post-Batman? The story begins now, 10 years after this Fool's Night. Selina Kyle has been in prison since then. She has been in prison for 10 years. And now that she finally gets out, Gotham City has changed. The new Gotham is cleaner, safer, but a lot less free. Costumed masks have been outlawed. Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, is, believe it or not, now the mayor. And him and his Batcops patrol the city, keeping crime low, but at the expense of more intrusive surveillance. Life is better for the rich, but less so for the poor. Selina, she gets released from prison and collects her belongings, and she takes the bus home. On the bus, we see a "Re-elect Harvey Dent" sign plastered on a city wall. As Selina gets off the bus near her home, she gets stopped by one of these Batcops, and the cop asks her, "What are you doing here? It's restricted." Selina explains, I'm going home. I live over there." The cop tells her, "Bullshit. No one lives down here. Where's your G-Band ID?" So it seems now that the citizens of Gotham have to wear these G-Bands that track them. Selina explains that she just needs to get some things. She's been away for a while. The cop looks at her normal ID and tells her, "Okay, but make it quick and register for a G-Band. They're mandatory for all citizens next year. And welcome home, Catwoman." The cop, he walks off. Selina, she returns to her home. Her home is this entire apartment complex. She actually owned the entire building, and she rented out various units to tenants. However, after a hurricane, all of the tenants left, and the apartment complex is abandoned, and looters have picked over most of the building over the years. The looters did not get into her penthouse though, as Selina had steel doors with heavy security, and the looters couldn't get in there. Selina, she walks up to her penthouse door, and there's a key code, and she tries to punch it in, but she realizes that she forgot the code, so she instead climbs up onto the roof, and she makes her way over to the penthouse from up above, and she finally gets into her home, and everything is just how she left it. She takes a shower, and her old cat, Monty, greets her. Selina is surprised that Monty stayed after all these years. The next day, Selina goes to a nearby hipster coffee shop. When she tries to pay cash there, the clerk asks her, "Cash? What are you, a criminal?" And then he recognizes her as Catwoman and is embarrassed. He tells her, sorry ma'am, G-money only. Maybe the bodega down the street can help you out. Selina, she goes to the bodega and gets a coffee there, paying cash. On the TV in the bodega is a news story playing. Mayor Harvey Dent has an election coming up in a few months. He recently cut the ribbon on the newly restored Gotham City Police Headquarters, and he unveiled a rooftop memorial for all those who died on Fool's Night 10 years ago. Reporter Vicky Vale asks Harvey Dent about Gotham's progress in the last 10 years. Harvey, touting his accomplishments, says it's been 10 years of peace and prosperity after we outlawed all the masks. I don't think that's a coincidence, Vicky. Vicky then asks about the Batcops and their methods. Harvey replies, you mean our tactical officers? Batman, he gave his life for the safety and order we now enjoy, and we can always use that reminder. Selina, she also buys some roses at the bodega, and she takes a taxi cab up to the old Wayne Manor. She hops a fence, and she sees that Wayne Manor is not like in the old days. She goes to some nearby graves for some of the Bat family. We see a tombstone for Bruce Wayne, Alfred Pennyworth, Dick Grayson, all three of them dead. Selina, she places some roses. The Batcops apparently have Wayne Manor under surveillance, and one of the Batcops spots Selina and tells her, hey, this area is off limits. Selina, she runs away. Next, Selina decides to visit the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot. Penguin is at his resort/casino known as Iceberg Island. Penguin, he did pretty well for himself in the last 10 years. In fact, he is now known as Emperor Penguin. Penguin has quite the empire of businesses. He's got his casino, his money laundering operation. He has offshore accounts, shell companies, real estate. He dabbles in fine art. Most of his businesses are now even somewhat legitimate. Penguin greets Selina warmly and says, cheers, kitty girl. Oh, I've missed you. I was just thinking about that time with the giant typewriter. What fun. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy now, but we had so much style back then. So, what is it you need, sweetie? Selina, she asks for her money that I assume Oswald was holding for her or invested for her. Oswald tells her, well, they took it all, didn't they? Civil forfeiture, but I know stealing when I see it. What could I do, Selina? I had to give it up. At least I saved the building for you. Penguin asks, what can he do to make it up to her? Selina asks for a loan until she gets back on her feet. After a job or two, she'll be set, and she can pay him back. Oswald says, no, I'm afraid that's out of the question. I know things. I know about your knees. I know about your back spasms. I know you're not as fast as you used to be, and do I need to go on? But if it's work you want, why not here? I can always use another hostess, especially if you break out the old cat suit. You know the one. Selina slaps Penguin, and then she leaves. Selina, that night, tries to get back into the swing of things. She's running and jumping across various rooftops, traversing the city. She wants to pull off a heist, get her street cred back. Penguin thinks she's washed up, but Selina, she's only 55 years old now. She's got many good years left. Selina decides to sneak into Gotham's police headquarters. She needs to get some stuff there. She successfully gets into the building. She sneaks around a bit. She avoids some of the Batcops and others. She creates a distraction by throwing a pen. She moves through the building, but she almost gets spotted. Her knees were given out. She wasn't as fast as she used to be. She decides to abandon her thieving here for now, and she exits the building through a window. Later on TV, Harvey Dent is giving an interview. We learn that on this Fool's Night 10 years ago, the deadliest night in Gotham's history, Harvey Dent, he ran into a burning building and he saved some people. And his heroics that night went viral, and it kind of turned his image around with the public, and people started to believe in him again. And Harvey eventually turned that into a successful campaign to be mayor. Harvey tells the interviewer, "As district attorney, I helped Batman catch criminals. As Two-Face, we clashed, but iron sharpens iron, and Batman made me a better man." His sacrifice on Fool's Night and the personal fortune he willed to the city? I keep Two-Face's coin on my desk. It's a reminder of the dark moments we all struggle with, but it's also a reminder of him. The reporter then asks about Harvey's opponent in the upcoming election, Barbara Gordon. Harvey says, yes, she's a strong woman, isn't she? I can't imagine all she's been through, but she's not the only one with a disability. Harvey, he touches the scarred side of his face. The next day, Selina Kyle goes to visit Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, aka Oracle. A poster reads, "Gordon for mayor." Barbara is running against Harvey to become the new mayor of Gotham. Inside Barbara's campaign office, Selina sees Barbara's son that she named Wayne. Wayne tells Selina that her mom is in the back. Selina, she goes to greet Barbara. Selina, seeing Barbara, says, "Hello, Barbara." Barbara replies, "Oh, it's you." We see Barbara Gordon in this continuity is still wheelchair bound. Selina tells Barbara jokingly, "I just saw Dent on TV. Give me the word and I'll take him out for you." Barbara replies, "Same old Selina, everything's a game to you." The two of them, they talk. They discuss the old days when they both wore costumes. Barbara explains, "We wasted so much time dressing up and fighting, but after Batman died, Bruce's money did more for this city than all those years of punching. More programs, more housing." Selina, she says that there's also more cops and more guns now. Barbara says, "Yeah, you're right. It's not perfect, but this is how you make a difference. Working with people, changing everyday lives, not running around on rooftops. I have a responsibility now to make the world better. Dad would have wanted that." As they talk some more, it is clear that Barbara holds some animosity towards Selina, especially because Selina was there on Fool's Night when Batman and James Gordon died, and Selina wasn't able to save Barbara's dad. Barbara asks Selina, "Do you even know what you want? Figure it out before someone else gets hurt. I have fought hard to build this new life, and I won't lose my family again because of you." Selina says, "Hey, I didn't kill them, Barbara." Barbara replies back, "You didn't save them either, Catwoman." Selina, she goes to leave. Before she does, though, she asks Barbara about something called Orpheus. Barbara wonders, how does Selina know about Orpheus? She's surprised. She says, "How?" Before Selina can answer, one of Barbara's aides enters the room, and Selina, she leaves. That night, Selina Kyle goes to a bar named the Stock Pot. It is a popular bar with out-of-work henchmen in Gotham City. The owner is a woman named Ma Hunkel, who used to be a superhero known as the Red Tornado. Ma Hunkel is manhandling a customer who is starting trouble with Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc. Ma makes the customer apologize to Waylon, and the customer does so. We see Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, is in civilian clothes now. He has a sports shirt on, sandals, a hat, and a necklace. This is a very laid-back, casual street clothes wearing Killer Croc. Selina asks Croc, what was all that about with that customer? Croc explains, it's nothing. You know these goons. They think they're tough guys because they used to work for Mr. Freeze or whatever. I used to be the king of Gotham. Someone in the bar yells out, yeah, the king of beers. Waylon, angry, says, who said that? Who said that? He gets no answer, though. Selina tells Croc to not listen to them, and Croc admits, I'm still strong. It's just these damn hips and my head concussions. The doctor said, Selina, she touches Croc's hand and tells him, I know. The two of them, they drink, and they really pound some beers back. Harvey Dent, he then walks into the bar. He is arrogant and cocky. He is here to send a message to Selina and try and rattle her. He tells her not to return to her criminal ways. He says, "You're going straight? You're not off to a good start, are we? You missed your first parole check-in today. I think we can let it slide, though, for old time's sake. I understand, Selina. Believe me, I do. Change is hard, but you have to want it. Right, Waylon?" Harvey continues talking to Selina, saying, "You've got your pride, I get that. Don't think of it as retiring, more like turning over a new leaf. And really, what are your options? You think someone's going to hire you? Now? Running around like that? At our age? It's embarrassing. I don't want that for you." Selina tells Harvey, "So I retire or go back to jail?" "I don't know, Harvey. You choose." Selina tosses a coin at Harvey. Harvey catches it, and then he slams it down on the bar. But then he smiles to the entire crowd in the bar, and he tells the bartender, "Ma, the next round's on me." And the bar cheers, free drinks. People in the bar are saying, "Harvey, you got my vote." Harvey then leaves. As Harvey Dent leaves the bar, Selina turns to Croc and tells him, "Maybe you and I should team up." And Croc replies, "No shit, really?" Selina tells Croc, "Keep it down. If this is going to work, I'm the boss. We gotta do something big. We're going to break into the Batcave on Election Day." Croc, he laughs at Selina's suggestion. At first a small laugh, and then a real loud belly laugh. Then he says, "Goddamn, Selina, woo! I'll drink to that. One thing though, and you can say no, but I need a place to stay." Selina, surprised, says, "Jesus, Croc," but she will allow him to stay with her. The next night, Selina tries again to get back into the swing of things. She gets into her Catwoman outfit, and she tries once again to break into Gotham's police headquarters. She is on the roof. She throws some smoke bombs at some of the Batcops and knocks them out. She then sneaks inside. She gets past everyone. She gets into the evidence room and she removes a box of evidence, and then she takes off. When she escapes and is safe, she looks inside the box and she finds various things. One of the things is what looks like a batarang. And then Selina remembers Bruce. She has a flashback to 10 years ago, to that fool's night. They were both on the top of Gotham's police department HQ, and it looked destroyed from whatever the Joker did there that night. And James Gordon was dead, and Batman was dying. He had sores on his body from an explosion. And Batman told Selina, "The cave. Bring me the Orpheus." Batman then gave Selina the special batarang, and he told her to save the city. So that is what Selina wants to do. She wants to get into the Batcave now to find out what this Orpheus is that Batman was telling her about. And how does Batman want her to save the city? A GCPD helicopter flies into the air above the roof, and it tells Selina, "Move away slowly, put your hands behind your head." Some cops are trying to break down a door to get onto the rooftop. Selina sees that the door is rigged to blow up if the police barge it down. She yells for them to stop, but it's too late. The cops burst through the door, and a massive explosion rocks the building, and Selina was flung back and knocked out, and she was eventually arrested and sent to prison, and she was there for the next decade. Back to the present day now. Selina sends Barbara her father's pipe that Selina retrieved from the evidence that she stole from police headquarters. There is a note attached, and it says, "You should have this. S." Selina also wrote her phone number at the bottom. Over at Harvey Dent's mayoral office, he is taking a meeting with his Police Commissioner Tully, as well as some others. We learn from their conversation that Harvey had the police commissioner pull some strings and have Selina released from jail. So Harvey was behind that. Harvey then purposely went to that bar last night to rile Selina up. He is expecting her to return to her criminal ways. Harvey then hopes that he can have her arrested before his election and prove to Gotham City how tough he is on crime. And with Catwoman's arrest, he will easily win. Harvey tells his men, "We made her angry, and angry people make mistakes. This election is a lock when we put her away in handcuffs." Or a body bag. That is the end of Book 1. Catwoman Lonely City, Book 2, Collecting Strays. We get to see more glimpses of Fool's Night from 10 years ago. The Joker, he was broadcasting live in Gotham Square, as well as on the internet. He gathered many followers on social media, and he made his followers download something called the Jokester app on their phone. And then he had his followers launch anarchy all at once, all over the city. People all over Gotham were wearing clown masks, and they began killing and looting. Batman, Batgirl, Catwoman, Nightwing, and Robin, I believe the Tim Drake version of Robin, were watching all of the anarchy take place on the streets below. Batman gave Batgirl some orders. He told her, "I need you, Nightwing, and Robin on riot control. Catwoman and I will take care of the Joker." And Barbara, she said that the Joker had her father, James Gordon. And Batman said exactly why you can't be there. Catwoman added, "We'll handle it, Barbara, don't worry, we'll save him." Of course, Batman and Catwoman failed, and James Gordon, Barbara's dad, did die that day. Back to the current day now. We see Croc sleeping on Selina's couch. Selina gets a text message from Barbara to meet for coffee. At their coffee meeting, they talk about this Orpheus code name that Batman told Selina. Barbara tells Selina, "Ugh, so many damn code names. Orpheus was one of his secret projects. Bruce never even told me. I stumbled across a reference to it after Alfred's funeral." Selina says, "And it's buried in that cave, whatever it is." Barbara warns Selina, "It won't work. I've tried. The cops have Wayne Manor estate locked up tight. And the Batcave itself, well, the defenses are still up. It should have shut down after Bruce died, but something went wrong." Selina asks if Barbara has any blueprints of the Batcave. Barbara answers, "No, just my memory." Barbara tells Selina to let it go. Nothing she does is going to bring Bruce back. Next, we see a montage of Selina and Croc working out, preparing for their big heist jobs coming in the future. They are both trying to get back in shape as both of them are a little older now. So in this montage, first we see Croc bench pressing some weight. Then we see both of them stretching. Then both of them drinking some shakes. Then Selina arguing with Croc about Croc lifting 1 ton of weight. Croc says he can't do it because of his hips. Selina, she then hurts her back. And then we see Croc watching TV. And then Selina complaining to Croc that Croc didn't flush the toilet in her apartment. Then we see Croc running on a treadmill, Selina doing gymnastics, and finally both of them asleep in front of the TV. Later, Selina travels to Chinatown to try and gather more members for her crew. She goes to a store named OG Beast. I assume this is a riff off of the Batman villain named KG Beast. Inside the store, they seem to be selling sneakers and other clothing. One of the customers is a young man, and he's admiring some shoes, and he states to his friend, "Damn, these are 89 Batforce 1s! Tinker made these custom for..." The two young customers, they then try to steal those shoes, but Selina entered the store and she stopped them. And the two young men, they leave empty-handed. Selina, she goes over and hugs the store owner of this place, Rowena. Rowena used to be Selina's fence for stolen goods back in the day. Rowena takes Selina into the back of her store where Rowena has a whole operation going on. Various stuff is being made, some black market stuff perhaps. Some of it may be superhero outfits or technology. Rowena calls her son Winston over, and tells Winston that he is working for Selina now. Winston? He's a hacker and electronics expert. He was even offered a job at Star Labs, but he didn't take it because it was, quote, too corporate for him. He is also a superhero fanboy. Winston, excited to see Selina, says, "Whoa, this is crazy! I used to have one of your posters in my room." Selina asks which one. Winston, he then gets a little embarrassed because it was a sexy kind of poster. He says, it was the one with the moon and the purple costume. Selina kind of laughs at Winston and tells him it's okay. Later on, Selina and her crew are pretending that she is a rich duchess, and she gets herself a fancy suite in a swanky hotel. For the next several weeks, this swanky hotel is going to be their base of operations here in Gotham City. Selina likes it because it has a rooftop access and it will allow her to swing to other buildings. Later that night, Selina has a dinner date to catch up with an old friend. Selina meets with the Riddler, aka Edward Nygma. Selina and Eddie, or Catwoman and Riddler, they go way back. Eddie, he talks about what he's up to now. He says, "Oh, I'm mostly just grifting hedge fund schmucks with my daughter Edie. Sometimes the odd blackmail job." The two of them, they talk about the old days. Eddie makes fun of Selina's old costume. He says, "Come on, Selina, those boots you used to wear?" And Selina replies, "What about you? The bodysuit and the cane?" Eddie explains, "Look, I was doing a lot of coke then, but this just proves my point. Even with the masks on, we weren't trying to hide. You don't dress up unless you want to be seen." They then talk about Batman, and Eddie, he talks about his riddles with Batman. He says, "I think Batman got a kick out of it. Out of everyone, I think he liked tangling with me best." Eddie, he then talks about his past addiction and his dead wife. He says, "Look, I'm almost 12 years clean and sober now. The program was really good for me. After Lorena died, for the first time in my life, I didn't have any answers." Now, Riddler, he references a girl named Lorena as being his wife that is now dead. As far as I can tell, this is not a reference to some sort of obscure DC character named Lorena that Riddler was with, and maybe just an invention for this book, but if I'm wrong on that, please let me know in the comments, because I would like to know who Riddler married here. Selina, she talks about her romantic past with Batman. Eddie says he didn't even know about it. Selina says, "How did you not know? Everybody made jokes about it." And Eddie says, "Yeah, but he thought everyone else was just being assholes." Finally, after the two of them talking for 4 hours that night, catching up, Eddie gets ready to call it a night. He gives Selina his phone number to get in touch with him if she wants to talk further. Of course, in typical Riddler fashion, the last number is just a question mark. We have a flashback now to 30 years ago, to Batman and Catwoman's first run-in with each other. Catwoman, she was robbing some jewels, and Batman arrived and told her, "Unfortunately, I can't let you leave with that. You have a great eye, that's the most expensive piece in here." "I've watched you work, Catwoman." Selina flirts, saying, "Oh, have you?" Batman replies, "You're fast, precise, methodical. You could be so much more than a jewel thief." Selina flirts to Batman, saying, "Like what, a partner? Sorry, I work alone." The two, they tussle a bit, fight a bit. Eventually, Catwoman is on top of Batman with her mask off. Even though they're fighting, there is some sexual tension between the two of them. Catwoman's mask is gone. It almost looks like the two of them might even kiss. Batman instead, though, just removes the stolen jewels from around Catwoman's neck. Catwoman, she gets up and leaves, and she tells Batman, "Live a little, Batman," as she then disappears into the night. Back to the current day. Selina and her crew are meeting in her hotel room. They are discussing how they will break into the Batcave. Winston explains that the GCPD patrols the entire estate every 10 minutes. They know the cave is down there, but they can't crack it, and don't want anyone else to either. Our best bet is the service road the Batmobile used, but that area is patrolled and the tunnel entrance is hidden. Gordon puts it at around about here. Immediately inside, there's a stone wall, followed by the waterfall that powers most of the Batcave, and then a final coded entry door before who knows what is inside the cave. Selina says they're going to need some heavy-duty equipment to get in there. Winston, he has a solution for this. He suggests that they steal Alan Scott's Green Lantern ring. It's being kept in Star Labs. He saw it when he interviewed there. With that ring, they would have all the heavy-duty kind of equipment they would need. They decide to go with that idea. So we see they're outside of Star Labs headquarters. Selina pickpockets a Star Labs employee and swipes his keycard. Selina then slips into the Star Labs building. Winston, he has blueprints of the Star Labs building and is telling Selina where to go through their communication devices. Selina, she is going through some vents, and she eventually is in the Star Labs storage area, where all sorts of super-powered tech is. Selina, she finds Alan Scott's ring there, and she cracks the lock on it and grabs the ring. Winston tells her that she needs to grab the battery as well that goes with it. The battery is like an old-timey railway lantern, all green-like. Selina, she looks around and then she eventually finds it, but she realizes that it is cracked and it is partly missing. Oh shit. Oh well. Selina, she has to get out of here before she gets spotted. Croc, as lookout, is on the street when a security guy starts talking to him. Winston and Selina figure maybe it would be good for Croc to cause a little bit of a scene, create a diversion. Croc, he starts fighting the security guy, and then tons of Star Labs security start rushing outside. This distraction allows Selina to run out of Star Labs. However, some Star Labs security do spot Selina, and they start chasing after her. The Star Labs security people, they have Mr. Freeze's freeze ray tech, and they are shooting at Selina with it. Selina, she is managing to avoid it all though. She finds her way on a roof on a nearby building. However, some Star Labs security robots fly up there and chase after her. The robots order her, surrender the ring. Selina, she decides instead to put the ring on her finger. It may not have the battery intact anymore, but the ring still has some juice left in it. Selina uses the ring and jumps away with a flash of green light left behind. In the end, Selina and Croc manage to get away safely. A newspaper headline the next morning reads, "Old Cat, New Tricks. Selina Kyle's disappearing act kicks off on Broadway." The public are talking all about it, all about this Catwoman sighting. Some are excited by it, others are annoyed. Harvey Dent in a press conference is asked, "How is Catwoman still on the streets?" Harvey, he passes the blame to his police commissioner, and he replies, "You know, that's something I'd like to ask the commissioner myself. In fact, I don't understand how a 55-year-old woman can present such a problem to Gotham's finest. But we're committed to Gotham being the safest city in America, so rest assured, she can't hide from us." Later, privately in a meeting with his subordinates, Harvey yells, "How is she hiding from us?" Harvey's people lament, "She has no G-band, no social media, no credit transactions. We're just left with the cameras, sir." We see Harvey's people have the Batmobile stripped down and connected to some supercomputers. They are trying to use some of the tech from the Batmobile. Harvey and the Gotham PD are attempting to use Batman's old satellites to monitor people and fight crime, and they're running it from the Batmobile. They are worried, though, that the power supply on the Batmobile may give out any day now, so they are trying to crack Batman's Wayne Tech security AI and be able to transfer that computer to their own computers. This is another reason why Harvey really wants to get into the Batcave himself, too, so that way they can use some of Batman's satellite tech that might be stationed there. The police commissioner and Gordon are talking, and the police commissioner is upset that Harvey was shitting on him earlier during a press conference. Harvey tells the police commissioner, "Christ, you're not sore, are ya? It's just a little bit of theater is all. Give the media some fat to chew on." Harvey tells the police commissioner to just worry about Catwoman. He will take care of the rest. back at Selina's hotel room, which is acting as the team's base for now. They are discussing the status of things. Winston says the Green Lantern ring they have is dead now, and it looks like the Lantern battery was destroyed for real in some sort of crisis event? This is kind of a joke because DC had so many crisis events over the years, Winston doesn't even know which one. There's been Crisis on Infinite Earths, Zero Hour Crisis in Time, Infinite Crisis, Final Crisis, Dark Crisis, etc. Selina says that she needs some time to think about their next move. Out on the streets of Gotham, protesters are upset about a new stadium being built, as well as some luxury condos. Landlords and tenants are being forced out, and they will be given pennies on the dollar for their places. Harvey Dent, in response when asked by reporters about these protesters, stated, "They complain, but they'll also be first in line to buy tickets when the new stadium opens. Go Knights!" Some of the protesters announce, "This is our city too, and we will not be silenced any longer. Catwoman is back for a reason. She's not afraid, and neither are we." The protesters then wear some cat masks as a show of solidarity for Catwoman, who is inspiring them. Back to Selina Kyle. She has invited some new members to their crew. In walks the Riddler, as well as his daughter, Adelia Nigma, or Edie for short. Selina, she then pulls out some blueprints and tells everyone a job that they have to pull off before they can tackle the Batcave job. They pull off this job, and a wealthy client will bankroll them in return. Selina doesn't say who the wealthy client is, though. Selina explains Winston and Edie are on systems and surveillance. Edie and I will go inside, and Croc's the courier. So the heist job they are pulling off right now is down on Ace Chemicals, which is where the Joker first fell into the vat of chemicals and his skin turned white all those years ago. Selina and Edie are undercover as janitors, and they steal some samples of chemicals. They then go over and give it to Croc, and Croc, he disappears into the sewers and gets the chemicals out of there. As Selina and Edie try to casually leave on their own, they realize they missed a guard, so they have to knock the guard out and start running. They run outside and are high above the factory, and they jump off the factory and they parachute down to the ground below where a van is waiting for them. And there they meet Croc, Eddie, and Winston, and they all take off. It was a job well done. They successfully stole these chemicals. Elsewhere, we see it is 3 weeks till the mayoral election. Harvey and Barbara Gordon are having a debate. Harvey says thanks to him and their highly successful police algorithm, crime is at an all-time low. Barbara argues convincingly, though, that is Gotham really safe for everyone? The mayor has turned our police into a private army that targets low-income neighborhoods and people of color. And what Mayor Dent wants is 2 cities. One, a playground for the wealthy, and the other, a jail cell for the rest of us. Harvey argues back, but is not very convincing. It seems Barbara made some real ground in this debate. We see Selina and her crew. They fly down to Brazil in a private jet to visit the wealthy client they stole the chemicals for. Who is this wealthy client? Well, it is Poison Ivy. When Ivy sees Selina, they have a big hug. Ivy wanted them to steal the Ace Chemicals' latest fertilizer, which is expected to boost crop yields by 4 times. Edie asks if Ivy is going to use it, and Ivy says, "No, I'm going to destroy it." The crop yields drop off as the soil is sucked dry. Anyone willing to use this will just move on to another patch of land until nothing grows anywhere. I'll develop a neutralizer to slip into their production. So that is why Poison Ivy wanted them to pull off this job for her. That night, Selina's crew and Poison Ivy's people, they all party and dance. Killer Croc is actually quite the dancer on the dance floor. Ivy and Selina are discussing things, and Ivy explains how she moved down to Brazil after Fool's Night 10 years ago, and created quite the successful life for herself down here. But a deal is a deal. Selina came through for her, so Ivy will return to Gotham to help Selina with this Batcave job. Riddler, he comes over and asks, "The kids are showing us up on the dance floor. Care to join me?" Ivy decides to join Riddler and they start dancing. Edie Nigma, Riddler's daughter, sits by Selina and they talk. She asks if Selina will train her, and Selina says that she will think about it. Book 3: Blood and Thunder. All of Selina's crew is back in Gotham City, and they are continuing their training. Croc actually managed to lift that 1 ton of weight he said he couldn't earlier because of his hips. Croc is excited by his accomplishment. He proclaims, "I'm the motherfucking king of Gotham!" And Winston shouts, "King Croc! King Croc!" Everyone is feeling a lot more confident. Selina and her crew decide that they need some of Clayface's clay for their inevitable big heist coming in a few weeks. So in order to get that clay, they go undercover at Arkham Asylum. Winston is undercover as a cook there, and Winston slips something into the food for Clayface. And when Clayface eats it, it makes him sick, and his stomach grows really upset, and Clayface keels over on the floor in pain. Edie Nigma, posing as a medic, comes in, and she secretly scrapes off some clay and puts it in a biohazard container. Edie then gives Clayface some antacid tablets and tells him that he will be fine. And Edie, she gives the biohazard container discreetly over to Winston, and Winston, he tosses it out the window to Selina. Selina, she is undercover as some sort of landscaping company employee. The fake company is called Mr. Tree. They all eventually leave Arkham Asylum, but the Arkham security guards realize that this Mr. Tree landscaping truck is a ruse, and when they go to investigate it closer, they see that the workers are actually some plants that Ivy made to look like people. Winston, he then remote controls the Mr. Tree truck and has it drive away, and Arkham security pursue the truck. But eventually the truck crashes and the security people find no one inside. And this helped create a distraction for Selina and the others, as they are now secretly in some tunnels. They are in an old subway line that never got fully built near Arkham. And as they are driving in the underground subway tunnels, Selina notices up ahead there are some blue lights, which Selina recognizes as cops. And she was right. She tells the group to stop the car they are driving and for everyone to get out. They then send the car continuing to drive onwards with none of them in it. Eventually, the Batcops up ahead notice this empty truck, and then they start rushing down the tunnel towards Selina and her crew. Selina and her crew need to get out of here. They need to find another exit out of these tunnels. Croc, he smashes through a wall with his intense strength, and then he is holding up the tumbling bricks while Selina and the others all escape. As they get through, the Batcops finally arrive, and they open fire on Croc with armor-piercing bullets. The bullets tear into Croc's back, and Killer Croc is in immense pain. Croc can't hold up the bricks in the tunnel wall anymore, and they collapse down on him. Croc is now pinned beneath the collapsed tunnel wall. Selina and her crew are safely separated from the Batcops, but Croc, he won't be able to make it. He is stuck, and his legs are broken. Croc tells Selina, "I can't feel my legs. You gotta go. They'll dig through. I'm sorry." And Selina tells Croc, "Don't be sorry. You saved us." There is a gun there on the ground. Croc says he wants to go out like a man. He wants Selina to kill him. He does not want to be captured by the cops. He says, "Don't let them get me. I used to be the king of Gotham. Please." Selina, she grabs the gun. She's holding it. And Croc tells her, "Thank you, Selina." And Selina shoots and kills Croc. Selina, she then cries, and in response to Croc saying he used to be the king of Gotham, Selina says, I know. On the news later, the attack on Arkham Asylum is quite the buzz in the media. And the attack is not polling well for Harvey Dent. Harvey, he decides to parade out Killer Croc's dead body. He does this as evidence that he is hard on crime. Harvey, he also institutes a citywide curfew. Now, while Harvey is talking to the press, we see that he is now holding his coin again publicly, something he hasn't done in a long time. Perhaps this is the beginning of some evidence of Harvey Dent veering back to his two-faced ways. Meanwhile, the cat-masked protesters continue rallying against Harvey's new building development plans for Gotham. The protesters have gathered outside the Monarch Theater in Crime Alley. The Monarch Theater is scheduled for demolition as part of the city's redevelopment plans. The Monarch Theater is the same theater where Bruce Wayne was with his parents on the night of his parents' deaths. The protesters are using this Monarch Theater, this historic site, as a symbol of sorts with their conflict with City Hall. Barbara Gordon, speaking to the public, states, "Nobody feels safe here anymore, but the problem isn't crime, it's the mayor. All these tanks and guns. Is he at war with us?" The news also reports that Lex Luthor is no longer going to open his new headquarters in Gotham over security concerns. This is another bit of news that is not looking well for Harvey and his ambitious redevelopment plans for Gotham. Harvey, in private, talking with his advisors, is seen admiring his coin. One of Harvey's advisors is a little bit concerned about that. Harvey explains, though, "It's just a little theater. Everything is under control. I'm just trying to do the right thing here, to be better than I was, to be a good man. Why can't they see it?" One thing interesting about Harvey Dent in this book is that he is legitimately, in a way, trying to do good. He is trying to do what is best for Gotham City, but sometimes what he thinks is best for Gotham City may not actually be what is best for most people within the city. Over at Ma Hunkle's bar, the Stock Pot, Selina and her crew and various people in the Gotham Underworld are mourning the loss of Killer Croc, aka Waylon Jones. One of the people in the bar says, "Waylon, he had a big heart and an even bigger mouth, but he was like a brother to me. I'm gonna miss you, Waylon." Selina and Riddler eventually leave the bar together and they walk the streets. Selina is having doubts about doing this big heist job at the Batcave. Croc was a big part of their plan. Riddler tells her, "Selina, you're the best thief this town's ever seen. Croc knew it, I know it, and everyone back at that bar knows it. And if you can't do it, no one can. But it's your call." Selina, she then kisses Riddler, and she whispers, "It's almost curfew. My place is around the corner." Riddler asks her if she's sure about what she's saying right now. Selina tells Riddler, "Eddie, for once in your life, don't overthink it." The two of them head back to Selina's place and they make love. Afterwards, Riddler and Selina talk Batman and this Orpheus thing and what it is. Is it a riddle, a code word, a project code name? After they talk a little bit more, Riddler eventually comes up with an idea of someone that can help replace Croc in their upcoming heist job. He says, "I got it, the answer to our prayers." It is 1 week till Election Day. Selina and her crew have set Election Day as their target date to go into the Batcave as they feel the mayor and the Batcops will be more distracted that day. So they only have a week to get all their ducks in a row. Riddler on this day, though, has them breaking into a museum. Catwoman, she drops down from the ceiling like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 1. And Selina and the others manage to steal a Mesopotamian burial mask. And with that burial mask they stole from the museum, they then visit Jason Blood, aka Etrigan the Demon. Riddler offers the burial mask as a gift to Jason. Jason is not interested in it though. Riddler, however, knows something secret about this mask. He smashes it and reveals that Dr. Fate's helmet is actually inside. Jason then perks up saying, "The helm of Naboo! I thought it destroyed. In the wrong hands, this could bring about Armageddon. Thank you for delivering it to me." Jason, he wants to repay them for this boon, and he offers to help them on their upcoming plans. Well, he and his Etrigan the demon form will help them. Although he warns Selina and Riddler that his other side, Etrigan, is unpredictable. He has not been released in some time, and I already feel him straining against his bonds. We see out on the streets, Harvey Dent is standing on a tank with his Batcops, and they are outside the Monarch Theater, facing down the cat-masked protesters opposing the destruction of this historical theater. Barbara Gordon is there as well, in her wheelchair, aligned with the protesters, facing off against Harvey and his forces. The two groups stare each other down. Selina and Riddler, they leave Jason Blood's home and they begin walking to their home. Selina notices lots of Batcops on the street this night. She tells Riddler to peel off away from her. As Selina is walking, some Batcops ask her for her ID, as Selina is in disguise. Selina, she does not give her ID. She instead throws some smoke bombs and starts running. As Selina runs, the Batcops open fire and chase after her. Selina cuts through a cemetery, and she then runs right up to the street where Harvey Dent and the Batcops are in a standoff against Barbara Gordon and the protesters in front of the Monarch Theater. The crowd, they recognize Selina. Barbara, fearing for Selina's safety, tells Selina to run this way through the group of them. Selina does, and the cat-masked protesters let Selina through. Harvey, he yells at his Batcops to open fire. The Batcops ask fire into this crowd of people, but they're not doing anything. Harvey yells, "They're harboring a criminal, so do it!" The Batcop says that the commissioner gave them orders not to do anything. But Harvey says, "He's not here, is he? Now do your job." The Batcops, they listen, and they fire some tear gas and other stuff into the crowd. The tanks fire as well. The whole thing is a big PR nightmare. In the aftermath of the fighting that night, the news reports that there is widespread chaos throughout Gotham City as police attempt to enforce a curfew. The news also reports that Ma Hunkle's bar, the Stockpot, it burned down last night. Ma Hunkle on the news explains, "They busted in and rousted a few of my boys, and they knocked over some candles and it lit up." The news also reports that the Monarch Theater was hit by errant police artillery, and the structure was declared unstable, and it was therefore demolished as planned. There was also an arrest video of Barbara Gordon that went viral. The charges against her were dropped. But the video footage of her, a white woman in a wheelchair, being roughhoused by the Batcops was not a good look. Barbara Gordon then had a press conference of her own, and she commented on her arrest, saying, "It was an outrageous and unjustified use of force. Imagine if I weren't a white woman in a wheelchair." Harvey Dent, he then made a comment on the news saying, "We cannot allow Gotham to slide back into anarchy. As of today, large gatherings are prohibited, curfew is at sunset, and we are mobilizing elite tactical squads with the sole purpose of hunting down Catwoman." Harvey is asked if Gotham will see more of last night's violence. Harvey, blaming his police commissioner, says, "You'll have to ask the commissioner about that. We can only hope he and his men will be less exuberant in the face of danger." Harvey was actually the one that made the Batcops escalate things last night, and not the commissioner. So later on, when the police commissioner is asked about Harvey's comments, the police commissioner, surprised, says, "He said what? That rat fucker. Listen, the mayor is mistaken. The police are committed to de-escalation and keeping everyone safe. Last night was not on my orders. Now, if you will excuse me, I have some cleaning up to do." At Selina's headquarters that morning, Selina tells Eddie and his daughter, Edie, that they are both out of the Batcave job. She comes up with excuses as to why. She tells them that they will still get their cut though, but the real reason Selina is booting them out of the Batcave job is that she wants to protect them. After Croc dying, Selina is worried they may get hurt. Winston has some of that Clayface clay they are planning on using for the job. Winston warns Selina that he knows the plan was for the heist to go down on Election Day, when Harvey and the cops are busy, but the clay is beginning to break down, and they will have to do this tomorrow instead. Across town, Harvey Dent is having cocktails with various businessmen that plan on building the new stadium. The businessmen tell Harvey that the timing is not right for them, and they have to pull out. Harvey asks, "You're just pulling out until after the goddamn election?" The businessmen tell Harvey to have a good night, and they leave. Harvey calls them cowards. Once Harvey is alone in this conference room, he flips the table and he smashes things. He then leans on the window glass and is sad, and he talks to himself saying, "I'm in control. I'm still a good man." Harvey is starting to break a little bit, and the Two-Face side is starting to slowly gain control over the Harvey Dent side. The next day, Selina and what's left of her crew get ready to do the Batcave job. It is about 4 days before the election, 4 days early before they were planning on doing this. They head over to Wayne Manor. Some Batcops are patrolling. Jason Blood, he is wearing some of that Clayface clay which they stole. They are using the clay to act as a face maker, sort of like from Mission Impossible. And they make Jason Blood look like the police commissioner. Selina and Poison Ivy are with Jason Blood, and they are disguised as Batcops. Jason, disguised as the police commissioner, tells the Batcops guarding Wayne Manor, "Greetings, officers! These fine new recruits will be relieving you at this position today." The two Batcops there are suspicious. They say that's news to them. Jason Blood, acting as the commissioner, tells them, "You have the day off. I've cleared this with your lieutenant. Also, please enjoy these sporting tickets as a token of my esteem, gentlemen." He gives the two Batcops some box seat playoff tickets. The clay starts dripping a bit on Jason Blood's face. Jason, he manages to hold it long enough though for the two cops to leave. Once the cops are gone, Ivy says that Jason was not really a great actor there. He did a terrible job. I mean, it was supposed to be Eddie doing the acting here instead, but Selina sent Eddie and Edie home. The two Batcops that got the playoff tickets arrive to their car, and they discuss how odd it was that the police commissioner told them to go home. The one cop, he does not care though. He's happy to have the day off, and he's happy to have playoff tickets. But the other cop is suspicious, and he decides to phone into headquarters and call it in. Selina, Ivy, and Jason Blood search for an entrance to the Batcave. They are trying to find the entrance that the Batmobile would take. They have a machine they brought with them that has ground-penetrating radar, but the machine doesn't really help them. Ivy figures maybe she could help. She reaches into the ground with her vines. She starts searching around and she penetrates the earth, and she sees how deep the roots grow. She spreads her vines into the ground and eventually finds a part of the ground that is hollow. This must be the entrance for the Batcave. She reaches her vines down into that hollow part, and she is searching around, and she finds a button which she presses. And by pressing the button, it opens the outside entrance to the Batcave. Selina, Ivy, and Jason Blood head in. They will now need Jason Blood's strength as Etrigan to get past this next part. Selina tells Jason to summon the demon now. Jason removes some of his clothes and he cites a passage saying, "Change, change, O form of man, release the might from flashy mire, boil the blood in the heart of fire. Gone, gone the form of man, rise the demon, Etrigan." Jason then transforms into Etrigan. Etrigan has been trapped away for many years now, and he is kind of pissed now that he is released. Jason did warn Selina earlier that Etrigan has not been released in some time, and he already felt him straining against his bonds. Etrigan, now free, starts choking Selina and Ivy and states, "Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, such is the fate of my jailer, Jason Blood. Shall it be thine as well?" And now for the final issue in Catwoman Lonely City, Book 4, The Underworld. we have another flashback to Fool's Night. The Joker had James Gordon strapped to the Bat Searchlight. Joker also had people in clown masks causing havoc all over the city. Joker told Batman, "It's a simple choice, Batman. If I turn on the rat signal, all my fools down there will stop. But so will Commissioner Gordon's heart. Save your friend or save the city. Even you can't have it all, Bruce." Note Joker calling Batman by his real name, Bruce. Back to the current day. Etrigan the Demon is choking Selina and Ivy. He says that they made a bargain with Jason, not him. Selina tells Etrigan, "If we are harmed, Jason will keep you imprisoned for 1,000 years. Etrigan, he eventually releases them and says, "Pah." Then they all start walking down the Batcave entrance together. As they are walking, the entrance should only be about 100 feet or so. But Batman apparently has some sort of magic enhancement on the Batcave here, and the more they walk, the further the entrance tunnel seems to get. Ivy asks, why would Batman enchant the Batcave? Selina answers, "'Cause Superman got in once." Etrigan says without the secret incantation, they cannot get past this part. Selina suggests that they try saying "Open Sesame." That might work, but it doesn't. Selina then seems to remember magic user Zatanna, whom Bruce was friends with. Zatanna is a magic user in the DC universe who would often say words backwards to trigger their powers. Selina suggests that they try saying "Open Sesame" backwards. Etrigan, he screams out, "Nepo Imasis!" And it works. The Batcave entrance here loses its enchantment and they can proceed onwards. Selina, Ivy, and Etrigan walk on. They eventually come to a door. This is where Etrigan will come in. They will need his strength to lift this door part. Etrigan, he does so, and they all walk past it. And they continue walking on. And then they eventually approach a giant drawbridge door with a big bat signal on it. Normally, when this drawbridge would open, the Batmobile would gain access to the actual cave. We have another flashback to Fool's Night 10 years ago. Selina is trying to scramble on the rooftop while Batman and Joker are fighting. James Gordon, he looks fried to death on the bat signal, which is now smoking. Joker tells Batman, "Why do you do it, Bruce? Play by the rules that no one else is following. There's no rhyme or reason to this world. It's all one big joke, and I'm so tired of laughing." Selina, she grabs a gun on that roof, and she runs over and tries to shoot at the Joker to save Batman. But instead, when she pulls the trigger, it is just one of Joker's novelty guns that shoots out a bang flag. Joker, he has some explosives strapped to him. And as him and Batman are fighting, we see on Joker's lapel there is a counter, and the counter counts down and eventually reaches 0. And some bombs that were strapped to the Joker explode. After the explosion, Selina walked over to Batman, who was severely injured from the blast and was dying. Batman gave Selina a Batarang-type device. He told her, "There was never enough time for us. Give me your hand. I should have trusted you more." Batman, holding Selina's bleeding hand, makes her touch this Batarang device. The device then says, "DNA indexed. Access granted." Batman just gave Selina access to the Batcave for after his death. Back to the current day now once again. Catwoman climbs up to where the giant door is, and she finds a little bat symbol up there, which she can then insert that Batarang she was given into. She places the little Batarang Batman gave her that night on Fool's Night, the one that was coded to her DNA, and when she places it in the slot, It triggers open the big door, and the drawbridge opens and lowers. A whole bunch of bats fly out, and then Selina, Ivy, and Etrigan enter. Outside Wayne Manor, we see Harvey Dent's Batcops are starting to run towards the mansion. They must know that something is up. Selina, Ivy, and Etrigan are now in the Batcave proper. We see Batman's various cars, the Big Penny, the dinosaur, the big Joker playing card, the various Batman and Robin costumes on display. As they get closer, they see some other things of interest. Mr. Freeze's freeze gun. Batman even had Catwoman's mask and jewels, the one from their first encounter 30 years ago that we saw in a flashback earlier. Batman kept it after all these years. Catwoman, she is searching the cave, trying to figure out why Batman wanted her here. Why did he give her access and tell her about this Orpheus thing? Eventually, Catwoman finds a pit, and it is called an Orpheus pit. It is similar to the restorative Lazarus pits famously used by Batman villain Ra's al Ghul. Except this Orpheus pit is actually a variant of the Lazarus pit. Winston, by searching through remotely the Bat computer, tells them about this pit here. He says, yes, Lazarus pits could heal any injury, even recent death, but it also drove the subject insane. Some video files here, I'll pull them up on the monitor. We see some video footage from back in the day. We see Alfred. He was old and dying, and Bruce was comforting him. They decided to use that pit that night on Alfred to buy him some more time. Alfred was put into the pit, and 2 days later he was completely healthy. He was up on his feet and cooking and his same old self. The Orpheus pit was a little different though than the Lazarus pit. It luckily didn't make Alfred insane, because this Lazarus pit solution was combined with Bane's venom. Bane's venom is toxic. It causes hallucinations and massive withdrawal symptoms, but it also gives someone superhuman strength. By combining the Lazarus solution and Bane's venom, we get this Orpheus pit. The two chemicals, they would supposedly negate the negative effects of each other. We see video footage continuing on. A week later, Bruce was debating whether to go out that night as Batman. He didn't want to, as he didn't know how much longer Alfred would be with him. Alfred that night told Bruce to go to work. Be Batman, he said. Alfred explained, my life has been remarkably free of regrets, but keeping you from your duties would be one of them. My dear boy, I'm ever so proud of you. Alfred ended up dying later that night. So this Orpheus pit solution bought Alfred only a week. Selina realizes that what Bruce wanted him to do was bring him back here so that he could be revived, so that he could fight again for another week or however long he would have. Selina thinks to herself, the cape always came first with him. I knew that, and yet nothing else mattered. Nobody else mattered. Not even me. Selina comments to Ivy, all this fighting, Ivy, is it worth it? Ivy answered, it was worth it for him, but you have to figure out your own answer. Barbara Gordon, she phones Winston and warns him that the Batcops and everyone else are coming for all of them. Winston passes on the message to Selina, saying to get out of the Batcave now. The Batcops are on their way. Winston then exits the hotel room he is in through the window before the cops swarm it. In the Batcave, Harvey Dent, on top of a tank, enters with tons of Batcop troops. Harvey, he wanted in the Batcave for a long time, but he couldn't crack how to get in or where exactly the entrance was. But now he is finally in, thanks to Selina opening the way for him. Harvey announces to Selina Kyle, I had planned to lock you up right away, seal up the election, but hey, I'm a gambling man, let's see what she can do. Now here we are, and Batman's whole network at my disposal. and I get to parade your corpse for votes. Etrigan and Ivy attack the Batcops while Selina grabs Mr. Freeze's gun and starts firing freeze rays. Etrigan, he starts brutally killing some of the Batcops and feasting on them. Selina is a little concerned about that. Harvey brought someone in, though, to deal with Etrigan. In walks Clarion the Witch Boy, a typical foe of Etrigan. Harvey says, "Cost me a fortune to conjure him up, but all he wanted was a grudge match." Clarion then recites a spell saying, "Gone now, O Etrigan, and rise once more the form of man." And Etrigan reverts back into his weak, human Jason Blood form. Jason, though, is still confident in himself. He tells Clarion, "Your odds were better with the demon, witch boy." Clarion shouts back, "I'm a witch man, and we shall teach you respect." As Jason and Clarion fight, Jason tells Selina, "Forgive me, Selina, but if any of you are to survive, we must go away." Jason and Clarion then teleport away, perhaps to another dimension, but they are gone. Harvey and the Batcops continue to battle Selina and Poison Ivy. Selina is now out of Mr. Freeze's freeze gun ammo, so she instead grabs something that fires Scarecrow's fear gas. Selina fires some of that gas around. Harvey, he breathes into a mask and manages to block breathing in the gas, but some of the Batcops do breathe in the fear toxin, and they start getting scared, start seeing weird things, and they run away. Poison Ivy, meanwhile, is making plants grow to fight the Batcops, and some of the plants are like those man-eating plants, and they're biting the cops. Harvey then has the Batcops shoot fire from a flamethrower on Ivy's plants to burn them. Ivy tells Selina, "It's getting too hot in here for you, Selina." And Ivy, with some of her vines, grabs Selina and tosses Selina to the other side of the Batcave to get her out of harm's way. Ivy then uses some more of her vines and grabs onto the roof of the Batcave, and she starts tearing it down, and she starts making the cave ceiling cave in. The cave in causes rocks to separate Harvey and the Batcops from Selina, but Ivy, she dies being crushed under all the rocks and debris in the cave. Selina, she's then crying over Ivy's death, and then she's trying to figure out her next move. Meanwhile, Harvey is ordering his men to use their tank and blast through this debris. Selina, she is debating what she should do. Maybe she should go into the Orpheus pit, but she doesn't want to live on borrowed time. She instead throws a grenade in the Orpheus pit, destroying it. Selina, she decides she can't let Harvey take the cave and have access to all of Batman's technology here. The Batcave continues to be collapsing in. We see Batman's dinosaur statue breaks and knocks over the giant penny, and they both go tumbling down. Harvey's tank eventually gets covered with collapsed-in cave and can no longer move. Meanwhile, Selina goes to the Bat computer, and she is trying to sever all connections. Harvey, he follows one of his Batcops out of the cave. They have retreated, not thinking they can still get in. The Batcop says that the whole system is down. It's over, Harvey. Harvey, angry, not wanting to give up, tells the cop, "You get back in there, you goddamn coward." The cop gives Harvey his helmet and tells him, "Do it yourself, asshole." Harvey does not take that well, and he grabs the cop's gun and shoots that cop and kills him. Selina, inside the Batcave near the Bat computer, sees no way out of here. She is just sitting in the cave, waiting for her death once the entire cave will eventually collapse in on her. But all of a sudden, a door opens in the Batcave, another door that Selina didn't spot before, and in walks Riddler and his daughter Edie. Selina sees them. She asks how they got in, and Riddler explains that the front door to the mansion was unguarded, and he heard rumbling around the grandfather clock in the house. So Riddler figured out Batman's secret passage entryway and how to get into it. He set the grandfather clock to the time 10:48, which was the exact time of Batman's parents' deaths. And when he set the clock to that, all of a sudden the secret entryway opened through the grandfather clock, and Riddler and Edie came down. Riddler and Edie, they help Selina out of the cave as Selina is very injured. Eventually, they walk outside of the Wayne Manor mansion door, and Harvey, he is standing there outside. He is angry. He points a gun at all three of them. Selina tells Harvey that she wants to make a deal. Harvey can flip his coin. Heads, Harvey will let them go, and he can have it all. Access to Batman's system, satellites, everything. But the access codes only work if she's alive. Or tails, Harvey can have his revenge. Let's see what the coin says. Harvey thinks on it and says, "Damn you." Harvey, he flips the coin and it comes up heads, but it is not what Harvey wanted. He wanted revenge. Harvey, he then starts arguing with the two-faced side of himself. And as he is distracted, Selina yells to Edie, "Now!" And Selina, she throws the batarang she has at Harvey, and the batarang cuts into Harvey's face, while Edie charges at Harvey and grabs his gun away from him. Selina then rushes Harvey and jumps on top of him. She then starts beating on Harvey and she yells, "This is for Croc, and this is for Ivy." And as she is pounding on Harvey Dent, the Batcave completely collapses in, and Wayne Manor along with it. Everything is now destroyed. In the aftermath of everything, Harvey Dent got arrested for shooting and killing that Batcop police officer earlier. That cop had his body camera recording everything. So Harvey is gone now. He's going away to jail. With Harvey gone, Barbara Gordon easily won the election and became the new mayor of Gotham City. For Barbara's election night victory speech, she said, "Tomorrow we begin the monumental task of rebuilding Gotham, a more just and compassionate Gotham that offers hope to its future, while honoring its past. As my father always said, we are stronger when we are kind to each other and unbeatable when we stand up for each other." Selina, she continued working with her crew. She trained Edie Nigma, and Riddler and Winston still continued to work with her and do communications. There's hints that Winston and Edie might be dating, as well as we see Selina and Riddler are continuing their romantic relationship. The book ends with Selina on a rooftop, meeting with Barbara Gordon. Selina stares out at Gotham City and comments, "Sometimes I hardly recognize this city. All these modern glass buildings, they look out of place to me." Barbara replies, "Yeah, I don't think my dad would have approved. I understand him better, though, now that I'm mayor. The responsibility, the overwhelming odds. The protesters are still out there protesting. The police commissioner and the union, they didn't love my dad, but they hate me. Gotham's a mess, as dirty as it ever was, and I need your help cleaning it up. We can only do so much during the day, out in the open, but you and your team, you can find things in the dark and bring that corruption into the light." Selina, thinking about Barbara's offer, says, "Nah, she's done playing hero." Barbara tells Selina, "If you say so, but you love this city almost as much as he did," referring to Bruce. "Be a part of its future." Selina tells Barbara, "I'm sorry, Barbara. I was wrong about these new buildings. They look great at night, like jewels." And then Selina has a beaming smile on her face, perhaps symbolizing her looking forward to returning back to her jewel thief ways. Either way, Selina feels hopeful. And this is the end of Catwoman Lonely City. Alright, so that was Catwoman Lonely City. Let me go through my thoughts on this one. I really liked the artwork in this book. I thought it really fit that sort of fun, less serious vibe of this story, so that was great. I really liked the world building and seeing this future Gotham City and how it has changed over the years, so I thought that was really fun. I really liked Catwoman's cast of characters that she had in this book. Really sets an interesting status quo for Catwoman that we can get on board with pretty early. Now, I really enjoyed Killer Croc in this book. Now, I know some people might want a more scary, imposing, tough Killer Croc, but I kind of like this laid back, humorous interpretation of him. I liked Catwoman and Barbara Gordon's relationship in this book. Reminds me of Batman and James Gordon, so very interesting seeing that carry through to Catwoman and Barbara. I really liked Catwoman and Riddler's romantic relationship in this series. If Catwoman can't be with Batman, then I'm fine with her being with Riddler, so that was really great stuff, seeing their various interactions in here. Now, there was a lot of heists in this book, which is fun for sure, but maybe some of the heists didn't have to happen. So they stole some Green Lantern rings. That was a heist. They went to Ace Chemical to steal something for Poison Ivy. They went to Arkham Asylum to steal some clay from Clayface to build a facemaker for like 5 minutes. They stole the helm of Naboo to give to Jason Blood to sort of bribe him to join their team. You know, all these heists just for like one small thing. Maybe they weren't all necessary, is all I'm saying. Now, I really like the overall through line in this series of a Two Face and this mayoral election between him and Barbara. So that was great stuff. I also thought the whole mystery of the Batcave and this Orpheus thing was also really interesting. Although, when we finally find out what Orpheus is, in that it is this weird kind of Lazarus pit variation thing, I thought that was maybe a little bit of an underwhelming twist. But nevertheless, I thought this series was grade A superhero fun, so I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be back next week with more comics.